This is Missy Lynx, and you're listening to the Indie Sports Car Podcast.
Hey, this is Will Power, and you're listening to the Indie Sports Car Podcast.
Hey, well.
He is at home.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hi.
Hey, well, how are you?
Hang on. The volume, the mic is stuttering pretty bad.
What, mine or?
It said that it would fix itself when I was joining.
Yeah, you sound fine, but
There we go. That's good.
You laying in bed, you don't have any Wi-Fi there.
Yeah. Well, I just got the Wi-Fi fixed up actually. Yeah. Sorry, I had another interview. It went way too long.
That's okay.
Say either Jenna Fryer, Bruce Martin.
Bruce Martin.
It did not take
Got it.
long to get. All I had to do was start going down the priority list with him.
Yeah.
well, I mean, we're not the 20 question podcast, Will. So just be yourself, talk about whatever, man.
It's about to be the 20 question podcast.
We are not, but go on. Will's the kind of guy that will make one of his fans think that they just broke his hand for a week.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember that?
I do remember that,
dude.
I was watching something the other day, and I think it might have been one of the royal family played the same thing. So many people shook his hand that he just had to start shaking with the left and pretend the other one was damaged. Well, it was damaged.
Oh.
Some people like to show you their strength straight off the bat, like.
That's an American thing. Like,
I had an uncle that had an iron handshake every time.
Yeah, it's like
I learned I had to squeeze really hard back because that was the only way that it didn't hurt.
That's the only way you protect yourself. You have to really like I drum and you build up muscles in your fingers and hands. So when I've been drumming a lot, you're better off.
Nice. Yeah. Our new kid hates my drum set. He hates it when I drum. So it's like I gotta drum. I can only drum when they go to the doctor.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I got it all mic'd up, and so I can play music and everything through the earphones.
Around what you using the Shure SM57s?
No, actually, they're what are they called? Shure. What is it? It's been a while since what's the name of them?
Are they like stubby?
Right there.
Right on. Okay. Right on. Yep. Nope. You do have an SM57 right there at the top. Yep. It is a really great microphone for instruments. I mean, like it picks nothing up behind it, only just the front. Really, great microphones though.
Yeah. No, they are. They're I got to do some recording so you can record some songs.
Yeah, man. And then you put down a beat track, and then I'll grab my new PRS that I just got for Christmas, and as soon as I get the handmade pickups from North Jersey, that the guy's going to be done with this weekend, we'll put something together and we'll become famous.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'll do it.
Right on. I mean, I'm going to have to charge you, of course.
Yes, of course.
The pickups aren't cheap. Okay. So anyway, man, really happy to have you on the show.
And so yes, welcome to the Indie Sports Car Podcast. I don't know where our sign is.
Thank you. We're live now, yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't even know. Lucky I didn't say anything bad.
No, it's
Not that I ever
you
say.
watch here.
Because usually when I'm not like on the phone, like on an interview, I'm always saying stuff that's just bad.
You can say
I
whatever
like-
you want. But we don't edit anything. This is live. We don't.
Nope.
Yeah.
We want you to be comfortable, man. So
Yeah. Oh, well, that's me. You might regret having me on the show saying that.
Well, I had your brother on like 4 years ago when you guys were doing
wow.
the show with the with the Firestone Reds as a seat, and he and Damien would be doing interviews with different drivers and all, and they're like, "Can I get a different chair? This is uncomfortable." And then he was telling me that it was you behind the scenes that came up with the idea for the Firestone Red chair for everybody to sit in it.
I can't even remember if I did come up with that idea, but
you wanted to make everybody as uncomfortable as possible.
yeah, it just looked kind of strange. That's his deal. He's been real busy writing TV shows and such. He got picked up by HBO. He's doing a show. He wrote a show.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so he's in the process of doing that, working with some guy in Hollywood.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's actually about IndyCar too. So
Cool.
Like, he's the talented one behind the wheel.
What's that? He's
a talented one behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I don't know how I made it.
Won all awards, and I mean that's why his trophy's behind you.
Yeah, well, actually, I was like, it's kind of lucky that he went the comedy route, because when we were younger in go-karts, he was smoking me big time.
Was he
Find that
really?
hard.
Yeah.
No, my older
I'll
brother.
say.
The brother, he's my younger brother. The next one up from that was very good. He still does a little bit of racing from time to time, but he's the one that could have been serious threat.
So I heard that your inspiration was you and your pop.
Yeah, my dad definitely is the reason I got into racing. From as early as I can remember, there's always a race car sitting in the garage, like a Formula 2 it was, open wheel car. He's always working on it. He raced go-karts. He put us in go-karts, and that was my obsession as a little kid, was to be a race car driver and racing. I loved it, absolutely loved it. So, and it was all stemmed from my father's interest in competing in the sport.
That's awesome. I mean, unfortunately, like not competing, but same thing as far as my, just love of the sport is from my father. Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of us have that same story. I mean, except for Missy. Missy's love was her first race was New Hampshire 2011, and the end of the race. Well, the end of the race, we were we were sitting dead center, all the way up top, and Randy Bernard was right here, and I'm like, "Look, there's Will. He just flipped us off."
No, was Randy Bernard still there?
Or was it Randy Bernard, Missy, or
was it Brian Barnhart?
It was Brian Barnhart. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he made that call.
Yeah.
Yeah, nuts, man.
Yeah.
That was my first IndyCar race.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe that the camera was following me. I was like, Tim Cindric said, like, I used to ask him, I said, where's race control? Where the whatever was race control? He said, oh, it's up there. And I turned and like flipped him off, and he goes, don't do that. I said, no one will see us. We're behind the fence. Get back to the truck, and it's just all over the
Famous last words.
People
Yeah.
tweeting and texting. And I'm having to call sponsors and apologize. Yeah.
And it's just so funny because it's her first race. It got her into IndyCar.
Oh yeah, that cemented it. I'm gonna just throw this out. You became my favorite driver when I started watching IndyCar, and basically it was because I went down the list of drivers' names and I was like, "Oh, Will Power, that's a cool name. That's my favorite driver."
I hear that like often, like kids, especially kids, but people just who haven't been there, don't know really any of the drivers, just go down. Oh, this guy's got
Yeah, that's exactly what I
weird
did.
name.
I knew nothing. I was
Got
like,
a
oh, look
cool
at that.
name.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, Will Power. Yeah.
It's kind of a problem having that name though, because they're trying to get funding. I think they're pretty close to getting full funding, like 200 million, to build a racing motorsport complex in Australia.
Yeah.
Toowoomba, sorry.
I saw it. They're going to name it after you.
They're going to name it after me, and I was thinking it's going to be called the Will Power Center of Excellence, Will Power Center of Driving Excellence, something like that. And I thought people are going to be kind of scratching their head. Is that someone's name, or is that Will Power, like the actual,
Yeah,
the wheel of power,
like
so
motivation.
it needed to be William, because then you name
Or
people,
Bill.
sure.
You
Just
know?
put your face. Have them characterize your face, and then put your face right back at the beginning. The face, and then willpower.
It should be just Will. I should put an S in there. Will S Power.
I mean, your name isn't actually as
No.
others think. I watched CNBC, and they have a contributor on. His name is Will Power, and I saw when I'm like, that's interesting.
No,
He's
no.
bald,
See,
so I'm like,
it-
I
Are
can't
you
do that.
serious? I'm gonna have to.
I saw it. I
I'm gonna have to-
tweeted it at you because I screen capped it at work. I was like, this is. I didn't know Will got into the investment game.
Yeah, I have to get it. You have to check out who this guy is. He's an imposter. I'm gonna have to
Stealing your identity.
trademark that name.
Well,
well,
I mean,
you know what? I
fathers-
mean, I just want to say it should be called the 2018 Indy 500 Champion Will Power Complex. There you go.
That could work. It would be strange to a lot of people though.
very long on the other.
Yeah, because why would they name that place that?
Because
It's called.
Can you imagine the website?
like,
the web
they're-
domain?
like there's like the 5 greatest days of my life. It was like number 3, I would say. Number 3, yeah. Because we watched the whole thing with Liz and your mother-in-law, like we normally do every race, Missy and I, and everybody's going nuts. And I was standing next to Damien when you jumped into your pit crew when you got out of the car. Damien was there because nobody really knows who Damien is, but I do. So I'm like, all right, and I tackled Damien to the ground. And then everybody started running towards Victory Lane, so I started running with you guys. I shouldn't have, but I did anyway. And I know you're lactose intolerant, so you can't really drink the milk. So they were passing it around, and I got to take a swig, and then I handed it to Quentin, your fueler, and instead of drinking it, he dumps it on his head.
Oh, so he must also be. Yeah.
Yeah, but
that was
no. It was such a Michigan Wolverine linebacker thing to do.
Oh yeah, man, that dude, so strong
and fast.
Oh, God, he's strong.
Like, remember Toronto where you just kind of coasted right into pit lane, and your whole pit crew's just running down pit lane trying to get you back into the race into Toronto. Like you had something had like gone on the yeah. Quentin had like a 20 or 30 foot like lead on everybody else.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, like imagine that dude running at you. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Imagine having to like play offensive line or quarterback. Oh my God.
Like
That
he's so like he just picked me up like I was a baby, man. Like at the 500 or something. Like unbelievable. Yeah, that's why he could plug that fuel in, man. Oh, I feel the car move sideways every time the pit stop.
Yeah, like honestly.
Well, speaking of Quentin, I just want to throw out congratulations. He's having a boy, so.
Oh yeah,
is it really?
Yeah, I
like
think baby's
McLaren.
boy. Yeah, in
Clarence
May.
stole him off us. Man.
A lot of boys. You had Bo, we had Jackson. He's having a boy. Awesome.
Yeah. That's cool. He already has I think he had a little girl as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Awesome.
Wait, so he's with McLaren now?
He's with McLaren, I believe. Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah. I think he's driving one of their trucks.
Yeah, I saw him post on Facebook. He just got his CDL license.
Got his
Oh, I
But
did see that.
he was
Yeah.
driving a Penske truck rental.
Was he?
Yeah,
No.
he took his picture in front of the Penske truck rental. I was like, oh yeah, big shocker.
Yeah, he's just rubbing it in our face now.
Oh yeah, he's it.
When you say McLaren, you mean McLaren like Pato and Felix?
Yeah,
or-
Yeah.
McLaren IndyCar. Yeah, yep.
Now, how do you feel about Pato and Felix? Do you think they're? I mean, you've raced against Pato for the last season and a half. You've raced against Felix for the last two. Like what's your thoughts on the talented youth that's in the sport right now?
I think Pato will be an absolute, will kind of almost be the guy to beat in the championship, I feel like, because he's super fast and he doesn't make mistakes. Herder,
No.
Herder and him.
You can't say that word on this podcast. So.
Yeah, we don't talk about Colton. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Why is that?
Yeah. No, it does not. No, he was ignorant to Missy during a interview. I'll never let it go.
Moving on.
Yeah, but
I was talking about
Pato,
Felix. Yeah.
Pato for sure.
And
I think Felix will be pushed along by Pato pretty good.
yeah.
And then you've got who else? We got Palou. Palou could be pretty damn good this year too. So, man, I look down the field this season. There are so many good guys and good teams.
Yeah.
So many
Formula One drivers that lead Formula One to come to IndyCar. It's this. I mean, you thought the last few years the talent pool was deep. It's becoming the ocean out there.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, it's crazy. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Sometimes you expect a season of many different winners, and then someone like Dixon comes along and wins 3 or 4 races. But that Dixon and Newgarden will be right there. But you're just adding all these other young guys who would now have a couple of years of experience. So, I think you'll see kind of. Let's say a bit of changing of guard, as far as these young guys becoming legitimate championship contenders. You'll be battling them for a championship to win.
Definitely. I mean, I have one question for you real quick. Watkins Glen a few years back with Charlie Kimball, right?
Yeah.
Charlie Kimball is in the wrong there, right? Because I've argued with so many people about this, and most people that don't know what they're talking about, I know I'm right, and I'm just curious about what your thoughts were on it.
Yeah, it was the problem. Normally I have a spotter. I should have had a spotter there calling it, and they would have said, "Hey, Charlie's got a run on you," and really. I didn't look in my mirror, so I just assumed that no one was there. It was, and he assumed that I had looked in the mirror, and so he thought I was going to just automatically block down the inside, and I went to the outside. So really, definitely preventable. I can't remember. I think I was mad at Charlie, but honestly, it was not really. He thought that I was going to block. I didn't look in the mirrors, so I didn't even know he was there, and I drove out and we touched, and unfortunately I ended up in the wall. But not. You wouldn't put that 100% on him. Definitely not. It's almost like a 50-50. I mean, if I'd been told he was coming, then I think he still would have assumed that I was going to block, but I was in a different. That's the problem. I was saving fuel big time to make it, so I had the fuel turned down, so he had significantly more pace. So I wouldn't have blocked anyway. So he may have tried to go to the outside anyway, but maybe I would have been aware and gone inside to let him go.
Something I've always wondered, like, I mean, the
Fair
IndyCar
enough.
does have a side view mirror, but how much actual like field of vision do you actually get out of those mirrors?
You do. You see everything. Like, they're pretty good. Like, you see, it's kind of your update out of, every couple of corners. You just glance, or every straight, to just kind of govern your gap. Although you can get the gaps now on your steering wheel, the exact gaps, but they're good. They're, as you see, people block, people. You're very aware of what's going on behind you. You're 100% aware. So it's never a good excuse unless the mirror actually comes off or someone hasn't set them correctly. You can see everything. You can see it's perfectly fine. It's not like really crystal clear, but you know where someone's going, what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've always wondered. I mean, because you can see it in iRacing, you get an idea, but you can't really.
Yeah,
you never actually sat in the cockpit and looked in it. You wouldn't.
Yeah, iRacing's got it wrong. Because you move your head it depends if you use VR or not, but iRacing has it really magnified for some reason in the actual mirrors. The mirror that they use that's just above you that you can set is more realistic. That's what they should have. That's how it looks in the real car. It's a mirror that you see above you, but the actual side mirrors they don't do a very good job of. I've been meaning to tell them that they should use the same whatever it is for side mirrors because it's more realistic.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't use VR, but I always use the top, because it gives you more, view, because it's weird because you see the top and you don't see any cars, and then you look in the side and it looks like they're right behind you. It's very odd.
Yeah, they magnify it way too much. It kind of freaks you out, and you're like, oh man, you're going to chop someone's nose off.
Yeah, you always have to keep your relative up to know that, oh no, they're like a second and a half behind me. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Speaking of a second and a half behind you, which people weren't in Pocono, bravo on that Pocono win. By the way, the one that got rained out, and then I believe was the Monday win that you had.
Yeah.
My goodness, that was some of the most amazing oval defensive driving, in first place for 10 laps.
Oh, you're talking about not the rain delayed. You're talking about the year me and Newgarden went at it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Man, it wasn't the one doing it. Yeah,
I had such a good pit sequence, which we knew we could. We came from, to win that one, we came from 2 laps down.
Yeah.
We were just motoring, and then then it was. I did so well at that track. I think I finished. I don't think I ever finished out of the top 4, but I finished one year. I think it was first, second, first. And it was me and Rossi that year was the second that we battled back and forth for a long time. But and that was a fun oval for our cars to race.
Yeah, and
fun oval.
It's like you were coming off a 2 and you were going down so low. It was just so amazing.
I knew Newgarden so well that he would try past me below the white line. So I had to actually block below the white line. I actually went below the white line because I knew if he thought that he could go there, he would. So I made sure that I was really, really quick with that.
You really think he would just obviously break the rules like that, knowing that if he did it, race control is going to...
Probably let him go. You couldn't trust that they'd go, nah, you have to give the position back. You just couldn't trust that.
Oh, and come on. I'm a referee. You got to trust the stripes.
Yeah, no, you couldn't. Right. You couldn't trust. I've had too many times in my career where it's just like, nah, we'll let it go.
Yeah.
It lost me the 2012 championship, man. Hunter Ray.
I remember that.
Hunter Ray, in Baltimore, just jumped the restart massively, as you would in his position. He's got nothing to lose. The guy that he has to beat for the championship, it's almost over. All I had to do was kind of finish ahead of him. like, why wouldn't you jump it? And then Bo Barfield's like, yeah, no, it's fine. So okay, like it was, man.
That's why I like
you just cannot trust. Like it's, yeah, that wouldn't happen in Australia. They're very nuts about rules. Over here, you can get away with a lot more. I don't know why. It's just an American thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I miss Baltimore.
Yeah, so do I. But
Yeah.
I mean, come on, air conditioned paddock? Are you kidding me? I mean, it's just the thing of dreams.
Yeah, well, it's, there. I'm really hoping that Nashville's like that, but better.
Yeah,
You know?
it's crazy to me. You guys are going to be racing over a bridge. It's just insane. Like,
well, no, I'm not. I really hope the catch fence is good.
Yeah, I know. It's just crazy to me. Like, wait, they're racing over a bridge twice a lap? Like, really?
Yeah.
Safety seeing it the dive rated.
It's so it's gonna be amazing. Like, I can't wait for it to be really. I mean, how I mean, how do you feel about it?
All I pray is that it's fully open at that point, because that's what's gonna, like, I think that event will be nuts. If everything's completely open, which I think it should be by that point. I think we should be good to go unless there's some, big outbreak again. But yeah, oh man, you imagine the amount of country music stars and people that will be there. A huge event, really good for IndyCar.
Yeah, definitely.
Any new track, street circuit, would get that party festival atmosphere going.
Yeah,
that's really what it's about. The only thing that I kind of wish is that they would have some more support series there, maybe Indy Lights or something.
Oh, so what do they got? Not much.
I believe it's just you guys. I think I saw something about.
I thought Indy Lights was going to be there with them.
Man, they gotta have action all the time.
I mean, they have to give a lot back to Indy Lights this year, because last year they really just.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people.
Should have had Indy Lights racing there, honestly.
What's that?
They should have had Indy Lights racing there.
I think it's just you guys.
That would be just strange. They could have stuff on track going all the time.
So moving on, like, okay, I'm always going to call it Gateway. I'll never remember what they call it now.
Bommarito.
Bommarito
Auto. Wait, Auto Group?
It's called the
Bommarito?
Auto Group. I don't know.
So Gateway, great that the one race you had where it was just like again, like super speedway, less than 101 by willpower, Pocono, and short track, oval racing, 101 by willpower, for free. To the whole grid.
Yeah, I've had some. It's one of those tracks for me where I have awesome races and then I have terrible races. It's either in the wall or you're winning it. It's one of those tracks, and Texas is kind of one of those tracks for me too. Like either win it or I'm in the wall or something bad. Yeah.
I still cannot let Phoenix go. I cannot let Phoenix go where the yellow came out right before the line, and Simon Pagenaud was right ahead of you, and Simon was all of a sudden a lap ahead of the entire field. I just did not understand that. Couldn't wrap my mind around it. I'm throwing my shoes at the TV. She's yelling at me that, like, stop trying to break the TV.
Yeah, it's like, what's the chances of it being on that exact lap where one, like, of the fuel number, like the fuel light came on exact lap that I went into pit and he kept going. Unbelievable, man.
Yeah, and then
one more lap and you're golden, you're with him.
Yep, and then all of a sudden yellow, and you're like, no.
Yeah. Oh man, it's been many times of that in my career. Those bloody yellow flags.
Like I've said it 100 times, haven't I, Jared and Missy? I've said it 100 times. How many wins would Will have at this point if it wasn't for just about the most terrible luck, a driver's ever had in IndyCar history?
It's not luck. It's the IndyCar system. It rewards people, if you qualify badly, and that's the thing that for me, I qualify very well. If you qualify badly, you generally pit early. So, because you're not fighting someone, for a race win, you pit early to try fish for a yellow.
Mm-hmm.
So the percentage chance, and that's become less and less as the fields become stronger and just there's way more talent, so there's less mistakes. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I would probably have the same amount of wins if I'd been a bad qualifier. Obviously, because you're taking away the ones where you win from pole. But yeah, like, man, if it had been an open pits situation during my career, you're right, I'd have so many more wins. I'd be up around 50 or more. Yeah, it's just the system that IndyCar has. I've fought so hard to get rid of that. So hard, because it should be about someone who does a good job. You should not be rewarded for qualifying 20th, pitting early, and then the race because the yellow came out and all the leaders got screwed.
Yeah, and then
it's so wrong, man.
Yeah, and then it's like winning at Motegi, Exactly.
Now, is this something you've taken up with your union steward?
I wonder who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say her name, so moving on. Moving on. Missy, I've been talking too much, so you guys go.
It's fine.
No, I'm sorry.
So I actually now I have some random questions. How's the boat?
How's the what?
Your boat.
We're actually going to take it out today because it's like 81 degrees. Like it suddenly went from like in the 50s to 81. So
same here.
Take it out. My wife, boy, she uses it way more than.
So she's actually gotten better at driving it.
Oh yeah,
you sail a boat, Jared.
She's trying to fuck that thing.
That was probably the best video I've ever seen you post. That got deleted. It was so funny to watch. I'm like, I felt so bad for her. I wanted to go all the way down there and help show her how to drive the boat, but
you sail the boat. You sail the boat.
That was good entertainment. Instead I was filming instead of running down to help her. But,
right, yes, husband.
She had someone on there. I deleted it because of the COVID thing. Not because
that's what I figured. I'm like, what? You don't really want
people
see it. Oh, COVID's going on. He's out here on his boat. Man.
Yeah. We need to cancel this guy. Get him out.
Yeah,
you can't be
cancel world power. Yeah.
God forbid life, doesn't stop, right?
And now, one other thing I've been curious about: has Bo driven the Will Power cart at all?
No, he hasn't driven a Will Power cart yet.
Will he ever be allowed to?
Yeah. I mean, if he wants to do it, man, I take him out in the front of a motorbike and we go motoring through trees, and he loves it. Like he's just chill.
Poor Liz.
So he's not like tense at all. Like I can't wait to take him to Disney World because he's like a thrill seeker for sure.
Nice.
He's gonna like going fast. The question is, will he have?
Will his mother allow it?
Yeah. Oh man, I'd hate to watch him race. That would suck.
So would you be there crinkling up water bottles with Liz?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it would. I don't think it would be good watching a kid race, honestly.
He wouldn't be water bottles. It would be aluminum. Okay, it's Will Power. I mean,
Yeah. I went to Milford the other day and watched some dirt racing. It's bloody awesome. Yeah. I could definitely do that. I could definitely get into that.
You just sideways the whole time.
Oh man, these guys were running the wall like that, like 12-year-old kids, like running the wall.
Yeah, but
like, unbelievable. Pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, they had a really bad year. What was it? Like a couple years ago, they had a really bad year. The sprint car world, with the one guy trying to. I don't know what he was trying to do, but he paid the price for doing it. And then
the Tony Stewart thing.
Oh, you had that?
Yeah, I think he's talking about the Tony Stewart incident.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that was
that was a freak accident.
What a weird thing to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't he get out of the car and try to punched the car as he went by or something?
No, I don't know what was happening, but man, you can't.
No.
Yeah, it's so like, it's just, especially in the cockpit.
You're someone that's experienced it. How hard can it be to kind of contain your temper when something happens on the track that is someone else's fault, not yours? How hard is it to kind of contain your emotions there and kind of vent it away from everybody?
Yeah, it depends on the situation. It's really good when you do control it, because you brush it aside very quickly. Like, obviously, when you don't control it is when you're both out of a race and you're both in the car and you're having a go at the guy about what he was doing. But yeah, man, it's something that is really necessary. As far as putting a whole season together, is not losing your cool. You really got to treat the other drivers as no names. Like, no, they're just another car. Because as soon as you bring personality into it, you have could trigger emotion. But yeah, it's really good when you're in that mode, and someone cuts you off and you just kind of react to it, but you don't react emotionally. You just react in the correct way of lifting and avoiding the thing, and then go back at it again and try past them. Like, if you're in that mental space, you're in a great mental space, and that's what you should try and maintain, which is tough as a human, but it's something that I think you should constantly work on.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I got so upset with Vettel with what he did to Hamilton.
Yeah, it's very strange to do that. Yeah, very strange. Like, not strange. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, because I kind of have been round racing enough to know, the mind space you're in when you do that sort of thing. But yeah, you got to control that stuff. It's tough, man. I'm not gonna.
Oh, definitely.
I can understand it when people do it, and I know the space that they're in when they do it. But you have to try very hard to control that. Like, I know, it's tough because you put so much emotional energy and time and effort into getting to the point that you're at in a race, and when someone completely ruins it, or it can be very disheartening.
Yeah, definitely. And not for that. I mean, for the kids coming up, watching it, they look at it and they go, "Oh, okay, so that's what you can do." And it's like, no, you got to respect it.
That's actually true, because the moment, and that's what I love about racing right now, is the respect there is now. And when you watch Formula One, people go side by side all the time. People go side by side in every series now, and it starts at the top levels. It starts when kids watch two of the best drivers in the world in Formula One or IndyCar, whatever they're watching in their country, or what their series they watch, is when two top guys go side by side consistently through a season, through races, and they don't run each other out of room. They give the respect. It filters all the way down to the grassroots racing. And to me, I took note that, when I realized that was when I got to England, and it was, I think Senna created this style of racing that was very, very aggressive, and, that you would be penalised for these days. But when I got to racing British F3 in England, the style of racing was just so ruthless, so dirty. Just run people off the road, and you become that. You start doing that because that's what everyone else is doing. And that filtered down from probably the days of Prost and when Senna was, Senna, Mansell, they raced in a very aggressive way at that point, which was the way it was then. And then, it slowly changed as, from rules that, have been implemented by, the governing bodies, that you cannot make two moves and this sort of thing. But the respect amongst drivers filters all the way down. The behavior of drivers filters all the way down to the grassroots. So it is true. And you've got to try to remember that when you're acting like a You know, which yeah, I certainly have done it myself a few times, and got to try to control that. You got to remember what you kind of think when you have a kid. Do you want your kid to see that video of you when you know he's old enough to understand what it is?
Fair enough.
Well, then to bring it full circle, what do you tell him about the double birds?
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Wait till he sees that and goes, "What was happening there?"
It's like, you weren't born yet. It doesn't count.
CGI.
You cannot act that way. It's not the right way to behave.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, everything you were just saying is exactly like, you know, you're 100% right. Like it filters down right to, I mean, you know, right to MRT. I keep saying MRTI, and it's so hard to break that. RTI, you know, all the talented kids in, you know, USF 2000 and Pro Mazda and everything, you know, because, you know, they see you guys as their heroes and who they want to, you know, emulate. And I'm not gonna tell you who Pato told me who he wants you to emulate and be like, you know, like Will Power or anything. So,
what? That's flattering because that kid's gonna be. He's the quickest guy now, man.
Yeah, I've been saying for 4 years that we need Pato and Felix Rosenqvist in the series, and I mean the reason I love IndyCar so much is, you know, the greatest drivers in the world have to be in it, otherwise people are going to get hurt. Right.
That's actually true. Yeah, you actually need very, very competent drivers, or it does becomes dangerous, man.
Yeah, I mean, like,
what's that?
If without the drivers, it turns into an iRacing event. But
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, it's there's got to be a lot of respect there on those ovals. Yeah,
I think of that Texas race that what like 5 people finished the race
that
year.
I won that one, man. I won it.
I know you did. It was a great race.
But you know why I enjoyed that win so much? Like I really enjoyed it.
That was survival of the fittest.
Well, I enjoyed it because it was a pack race, and I have been, you know, against pack racing from the outset, and I hated it. And the fact that I won it, I could actually say, look, I won the race, but I don't think we should race this way. I think it's terrible.
Too dangerous.
You know, like it's too dangerous. You know,
you're not NASCAR.
You just cannot do that when there's front open wheels and you end up in catch fences and
like
a little better with the windscreen now, but oh man, like I was so happy to get to the front of that race. Man, I was back there. I was like, this sucks. Got to the front, and the engineer's like, or the strategist says, turn the fuel down. We need to save fuel. Nope. I'm staying here. No way. No way.
I am not touching that map button.
Anyway, so it was fine, but I was just like, no way.
I don't blame you. I was sick to my stomach that whole race watching that.
Oh, God. It was...
If Roger was your strategist and told you to turn down the fuel, would you?
I would still say no way. I would. I'd say no. I am not going back there again. I said we're going to run out of fuel, but I'm not going back there. And I was correct in thinking that, considering 5 people finished.
Yeah, tell me about
the amount of damage and cost that race. Oh my God. It's a balance there, isn't it? You got to have good racing, but poof.
Yeah,
I mean, that style.
Yeah, I mean, like I think I gained the most respect for you at the end of that race, because I was like, this guy won the race and he's mad.
Well, so I can't even remember. I know I would have said in the media, we cannot race this way.
Oh yeah, I totally remember it. Yeah,
it comes from basically what I experienced, you know, in 2011, like.
Yeah.
You know, before that Vegas race, it's just like, we should not be here. And yeah, it's bad news in our cars.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, we're doing this podcast now because of Tristan Vautier and but more Justin Wilson's just basically Justin Wilson made Missy and I a bet, pretty much. Because I wanted to start this 6 years ago, but I was terrified to do it, and he was like, "Well, I'll make a bet with you. If you do it, I'll always come on whenever you ask. Whenever. Even if I don't have a ride, I'll come on." And he was a man of his word. He came on 4 times.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then
cool.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he touched a lot of lives. Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you, it's just so I don't even know the word to the sort of guy Justin was, but the struggle that he had, that he finally got sort of a breakthrough and had it right with Andretti, and then yeah, it's just unbelievable. And it's so nuts to think when they went 3 wide that if he had been taken out there, he would have been fine. Like, that's so strange that when you think, like, the best thing that could happen was he was crashed out in that incident.
Yeah.
Was him and Graham. It was a Graham, him and Vodio. But yeah.
Yeah, and then and then Graham threw Tristan under the bus. But it was really Justin, but nobody ever talks. It's no reason to talk about that because what happened later doesn't matter. But
yeah. Oh, that's why, man. You think about that windscreen is so much safer.
I know.
I can't praise Jay Fry enough for how quickly he got that accomplished.
Yeah, the fact that the car wasn't even designed for anything like that, to be able to go back and retrofit.
Yeah,
working between Dallara, PPG, you guys, everybody. It was.
But he did it better than anyone. Like, he's like, well, why can't we have a halo and a screen? And you've created this incredibly strong structure where even small pieces can't get you. So yeah, he said he'd do it and he got it done quickly. And that was, I think it's a huge safety accomplishment. Like, if we go back in history, I think you'd look at the fact that Jay got that done and got it done quickly and inexpensively, relatively, for what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, full credit to him. And the people behind that. Like, man, it's just you're so much safer, so much safer. You have to feel worried now when you're behind a pack of cars that you might get collected by a wing or something in the head. And that's it.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Have they done anything in the off season to address the cooling in the cockpit?
Yeah, yep. They've certainly got a lot of stuff. Like, they've got this new device that feeds a lot of air in, and I think what they're going to do is mandate it, because it actually takes a bit of performance off the rear wing, so you'd be at a disadvantage if you ran it. Mandate it over a certain temperature, so everyone has to run it. Everyone's in the same boat. So no, Jay's great. He really works with the drivers and certainly tries to help from a safety perspective, and obviously the heat and everything else he's done with that car.
Yeah, like we've been praising him ever since he's come to IndyCar. Like, literally, like, IndyCar is one of the top racing just series that's on its way up, when we see so many of them going down. And it's because the product on the track, and the personalities that are, in the cars, you have the complete package right now. I mean, it's the most competitive grid I've ever seen, with the most likable person, just people, just down to earth, real, people that are really great racers, and, I mean, like, like today, you're on with us, and that's just awesome to me. I'm rambling. Missy, go.
How do you feel? How do you feel about Barber being the opening race this year?
Yeah.
Instead of St. Pete.
Oh, yeah. I'm so used to St. Pete being the opener. I love St. Pete. It's such a cool place. But Barber also, it's fine. Yeah, I love that place. You know, they put on such a great show. They promote it really well. So, yeah, it's so hooked up now because they resurfaced it. It's nuts how quick it is there.
Oh, yeah.
So crazy. I spoke to Jimmy Johnson after his first test. I was like, man, the amount of commitment you need in the fast stuff of that track right now is insane. But it's, yeah, it'll be cool. It's so anticipating so much to see where I stack up. You're always wondering, where will I stack up this year?
Mm-hmm.
It's, yeah, it's the excitement of the first race. You want to see who's what.
I can't
who's
wait.
fast and who's not.
Favorite sculpture at Barber?
Was that guy when you went past that little lake? He was like in the middle of it.
Nice.
That was kind of just some interesting stuff there. I know about the woman hanging from that bridge. It's kind of distracting. First couple of times, like, oh my god,
it's a bit weird, right?
Someone's breaking in. Someone's trying to get down onto the track. Yeah.
Yeah, like don't jump. No, don't do it.
Yeah, it could be bad.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just strange. And then there's a 20-foot spider. So hey, you know.
Yeah. Spiders and ants.
Yeah, it's just a great track all around.
Yeah.
It really is.
So I guess going the other end, are you okay with Long Beach being the finisher?
Yes.
Instead of Sonoma?
I think Long Beach is an awesome place to finish. What a cool track to have a finale, man.
I know. Just
wonder what temperature is it there that time of the year? Pretty good.
It's the same temperature all year round.
Yeah.
Is it?
No.
It just doesn't matter.
It is roughly 70 to 80 degrees every single day in Southern California.
It's
Is there like
beautiful.
no rain at that time of the year? Because they never ever have wet races there.
Yeah, I don't think it rains like 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, that'll be the date that we're there. It's going to rain.
Yeah, because
go on to win the championship wet race. Yes.
Yeah, because didn't the Indy Lights championship there pretty much finish in the wet 3 times. I think Ed Jones won his championship at Indy Lights in the wet there. I'm
really?
pretty sure.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, actually, the picture right there, the ICP, the top right there where Jared is, that's actually Ed Jones at that race. It's just a whole lot of filters.
No way.
Yeah, I made that 7 years ago. It's still there. I still think it looks cool. I don't know. Maybe I'll change it. I don't know, but I kind of like it. But yeah, that's actually Ed Jones. Nobody knows it.
I do now.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I would have made it you, but it would have been too obvious, and I got to try to be somewhat unbiased.
Unbiased, yeah.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, even though everybody knows where I stand, trust me, I get it all the time because there are 2 IndyCar fans in this world, right? There's World Power fans and there's people who, just love to hate on Will Power. I don't know why. But
that is funny, yeah.
Yeah.
It is so. What I find amusing or interesting is that your perception of someone on television is very different to when you meet them.
Yes.
I just noticed that because everyone's personality in the paddock and who's really popular with the fans. And you verse that their real personality, and it just doesn't kind of jive in real life. I don't think fans realize the personality of some of the drivers they really dislike, they may really like in real life. Yeah, it's interesting, but I know it because it's just some people you've seen on TV, and you're like, oh, I hate that guy, and then you meet him, it's like, well, he's actually a really good person, which is pretty. Most people on a human level you can get along with pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really, really catch myself anytime I see some driver or someone getting interviewed saying, I don't like that. He's like, nah, he's probably totally a good guy. Like, you don't know him.
Yeah, I have a great picture of you going to a campsite at Mid Ohio. It was the indie camping guys, and you know, we know a lot of them, and the guy's name is Doug. His son was just passed out drunk, and you were behind him, and you were making this weird like face going like this, you know. And
yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, like and I have that picture because Doug sent it to me.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I was like, see, I told you he was a funny dude. Like, you know.
Oh yeah, because I think the guy actually didn't like me or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, I don't think he liked me, and I was like, that's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like,
I was just funny. Like he would have woken up. Yeah, I should have done something much worse to him. You shouldn't dislike me. How dare you?
Yeah. Just get some buzzers. WP. Right on the back.
Yeah. That would have been
on your forehead.
Yeah, I should say. Well, yeah, I really am not a nice guy. So here we go.
Yeah. I really am a D, just like you think. So here it is. Mustache and a big C on your forehead.
Well, what you really want to do is you got to sign your name as Paul Tracy.
You want him to really hate him? Like you really hate him?
You're really gonna trigger somebody doing that.
I mean, what's next? We're gonna go put on the dumb glasses. I mean, what? No, I like Paul Tracy. I never liked Paul Tracy growing up. I was an Allister Jr. fan myself. But I don't know. Growing up, who was your hero? Growing up, Will?
When I was a kid, it was actually Nelson Piquet.
Right on.
Yeah, Nelson Piquet was my hero. My older brother loved Niki Lauda.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was the 80s. Senna was obviously I was a massive fan of Senna and the Prost and Mansell. That whole group, man, was like such a legendary group of drivers. Senna, Mansell, Prost, Piquet. Who else was in there? It was a really cool era of Formula One. Really cool.
What do you think of Schumacher's career?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a phenomenal career.
I mean, a few black spots on it. You know, I mean.
Oh yeah, definitely some. It just shows his desire, how deep his desire was to win, even though he'd won so much at that point when he'd do things like that. But just a guy that loved to win and was in the best team at the right time and racked up some serious stats, just like Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton's doing with Mercedes right now. It's the same sort of thing. It's exactly the same thing. You know, I just would love to see Formula One with parity like IndyCar, just to see where everyone really would stack up. Yeah. Like you never know where everyone stacks up in Formula One. You kind of like, I'd just love to see. Just imagine Lewis Hamilton, Ricciardo, Lando Norris, Perez, like there's a bunch of guys where you're, obviously Max Verstappen. Like
I was going to say, you got to say Verstappen.
You have no idea, like where do they all stack up? I believe that Lewis is probably one of the greatest drivers of all time, just talent-wise, like natural ability.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd love to see him in equal equipment against Verstappen.
Exactly.
Like, who is better? Where does that stack up right now?
Yeah, because I mean, Verstappen's there by legacy, and Lewis Hamilton's there by pure skill. So, I mean, you see Lewis Hamilton winning some kart races that I can't believe he won in the rain. And then I think there's a recent documentary, him and Rosberg from them being kids to Rosberg winning his championship, and how they went up and down, and you know, Rosberg just seemed to me like, like at times he seemed like a really good guy, and like Lewis. I felt bad for Lewis. Like I used to not be a Lewis fan really, but the documentary actually changed my mind on it. To be honest with you, but I do agree with you. Like I mean I love Formula One. I still try to watch it as much as possible, but you're definitely right. The parody is totally just not there. It's a constructors
championship, yeah.
And that, yeah, I mean, I mean, you're basically looking at, teammates versus teammates.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
because
but I mean, it's just amazing equipment they come up with. But from a competition standpoint, like as a driver, even as a driver, you'd be a little bit like, oh, well, I'd like to really know where I stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I had Bob Varsha on one-on-one, and we had a great talk, and I was telling him, like, I wish F1 would, try to portray the engineering just feats that they are doing, because I mean that one viral picture of Rosberg going into turn one into Suzuka. Into Suzuka, the year of his championship. Remember where he's just totally loaded to the left,
yeah, sparking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it literally looks like he just did like 10 flips, but he was just turning right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is insane what the cars can do, and everybody's like, well, what's the difference between IndyCar and F1? I'm like, where do I start? I mean, F1's made to go really fast in a turn, and IndyCar is not. They're made to go faster and more straight line speed, I would say, but still be able to be really fast in a turn, so you get the best of all worlds. And that's, that's why I gravitate towards IndyCar more than F1, because it's when you win a championship, you really accomplish something, because, not only did you, I mean, street courses, you have no room for error, right? I mean, the 1 year in Toronto, was that 2 years ago in Toronto, right?
Well, which one?
Where they had something going on with it was 2 or 3 years ago? It was 3 years ago, right, Missy?
I don't remember.
What do you mean, like where I got crashed out?
Like Toronto likes to change turn 11.
Oh, the track where they changed the last complex, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was. Oh, yeah, the pit lane, all that.
Yeah, and like,
yeah.
I mean, I think Colton hurt his hand because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well,
I think we gotta wrap this up.
Yeah,
I'm sure Will has to go. I got a baby to feed. So.
Yeah.
Jack Root's gonna be so mad. I was meant to be on exactly 1 hour ago. I was meant to do an interview with him. Bruce Martin went over, and then we've gone
Yeah, we've gone exactly an hour right now. It's been a great talk with you, but I mean, we see you all the time at the track, and it's been a lot of fun, and we just had a kid, so we won't be at the track too much this year, so it sucks, but we'll be there at Indy, definitely. So looking forward to seeing you, Indy, and thank you for coming on. Well, really, I mean, this was a dream come true, really.
No, it's cool. No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, and good luck with the season this year.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on.
All right, cheers. I'll see you guys later.
All right, see ya.
Cheers. See ya. Bye.
Cheers. Missy, that went well.
Yeah, it did.
It went very well. I gotta go. My game is less than an hour. That sucks for Jared. His
And I gotta feed our boy, so.
Jackson's, I'm sure, is starving. And is Blanche watching him?
Yeah.
So, Missy,
Well, you know that I know that, well, Frank, Jared, and even Will Power know IndyCar is coming back soon,
And just want to shout out, thank you to Marty. Basically, the Davises. They sent us something for Jackson, and can't thank you guys enough. You guys are awesome. So thank you guys.
Thanks.
So just wanted to say that. So thank you, and that was a great interview. Well,
Okay, I'm leaving.
Yeah. You know that I know that we are totally unbiased, and Will Power is just another driver. Just another driver.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing a shirt. I'm not wearing a shirt.
Bye.